What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. What we got here is 10 biggest WWE title downgrades in history. I got a couple of those in my mind, and if they don't make this list, they better have some really good ones. Now, before we get started, hit that subscribe button. Let's go.
When WWE introduces a new version of an established title, the new title design should have a distinct purpose. The new design should stand out, but it should also enhance the established title by respecting the past yet embracing the future. Unfortunately, over the years, WWE has been heavily criticized when it comes to their title makeovers, as some of the designs have been less than flattering and lead to fans wanting to see the old design make a dramatic return.
TJP.
Now, Wrestlamia looks at 10 of the biggest WWE title downgrades.
Really quick, guys, did you guys watch 205 Live like I did? And if you did, who were your favorite wrestler and what was some of your favorite matches? Like, if you haven't checked it out, check out some Mustafa Ali matches, Cedric Alexander, Buddy Murphy. You won't be disappointed, okay?
Number 10, ECW.
Yes, this one was disrespectful.
The original ECW title was used on WWE program.
I really feel like this change really was there just to smite ECW. Like, it was just the disrespect ECW.
When the company relaunched ECW in 2006. This was the right move, as the title is a perfect representation of what ECW is, and the title certainly had its fans. Sadly, a few years into the relaunch of ECW, the WWE version of ECW had completely lost its way, and it was nowhere near what made ECW so popular. WWE knew that the ECW title represented the old era, so they made a call to introduce a brand new version of the ECW title. On the July 22nd, 2008
it should have just kept it gold.
Teddy Long presented Mark Henry with the new title design. The design featured a large black leather strap with a silver centerpiece. And the obvious issue with the title is the fact that it's silver as opposed to gold. This was further evidence that WWE didn't value the ECW brand, and fans saw the silver design as yet another spit in the face to ECW faithfuls. Number 9, Tag Team Titles. WWE up until the 2010 seemed to have a great understanding of what design to go with for the tag titles. However, in 2010, WWE ditched the two respective tag title designs that had been with the company since the Ruthless Aggression era. WWE would have Bret Hart present the Hart Dynasty with the new titles, which were belts with black leather and a copper centerpiece. These title designs were instantly met with negative reviews because it was so unimaginative and lifeless.
I would really like to know, what was the discussion to come up with this? Like, I understand that everything can't look like how it did in the Attitude Era or in the past, but who came up with the bright idea of making these things copper? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, did someone say, oh, you know what make our champions look like champions if we take giant pennies and stick it on leather and make them wear it everywhere? Like, what? It don't like look like they're the best of the best. It doesn't give me the DJ Khaled, we are the best. It gives me the, we tried. Okay, that's what it looks like. It looks like a shiny third place trophy. I don't get this stuff, man. Like, I get trying to be different, but come on, man. Come on.
It was such a terrible design, and even the individual who made the belts, Dave Millican, was fully aware that the fans would hate it.
For real?
Speaking on the Pancakes and Power Slams podcast, he stated, "I begged them, please let me make them nickel. Let me make them gold. Let me make them silver and gold. Just don't make me do copper." And it just came down from the top that copper is what they wanted. I think in particular, Stephanie McMahon really just wanted to do something different. Yeah, different doesn't always mean better.
I agree.
Raw tag titles.
These two.
WWE would stick with the treaded copper design for the next 6 years, and that was until reports surfaced that they were set to debut new tag titles on Raw. Sheamus and Cesaro were getting set to be presented with the new titles, and fans on social media were urging WWE to give at least some thought into how the new titles were going to look. In late 2016, they finally revealed the new titles, and they were presented in a lackluster backstage segment. The copper center and side pieces were now silver, which was a great decision, but the strap was now red to represent Monday Night Raw. The design was unbelievably lazy. It must have taken WWE about 30 seconds to come up with.
Again, all they had to do, they could have kept the strap black and put some red inside of the plates and stuff like that. It being silver is not a big issue, even though it looks like they took nickels and put it on a on an airhead candy, like they just stuck it on there. Outside of that, they could have made the strap black and put some red on the actual plates themselves to kind of represent Raw, but they didn't have to make the whole strap red. That is just crazy, man.
The main reason that they introduced a new tag design was to match SmackDown's version of the tag titles, as the version for SmackDown was the exact same, just with a blue strap to represent SmackDown Live. Number 7, NXT Title.
Really?
Due to WWE giving NXT a soft relaunch in 2021, they decided to give the NXT title a slight makeover. The gold centerpiece would now have various colors filtered into it, and although it was a slight tweak on a popular design, it was completely pointless. Whilst the design wasn't too noticeable,
That
when
ain't
the
that
TV
bad.
lights hit the title at the right angle, the changes to the design became apparent. And to
Yeah.
say that it didn't look great on live TV would be an understatement. One of
Yeah.
the reasons why fans hated the new design was that it felt like WWE were changing everything that made NXT different, and there seemed to be no rational reason to modify the top title on the brand in such an unflattering manner.
I don't think that one was that bad though. I do like the original one better from way when NXT first started, even leading on to before they came out with NXT 2.0. But this newer one, it's not that bad. And the idea that they did something new to get away with the old, I mean, what gave it away when they named it NXT 2.0? I mean, they're gonna have to change it. Now, I'm for change. It's just some stuff that we saw earlier in this video. The changes didn't make any sense. But this one here is not bad. I don't know why it's on this list. But I guess if you got to make a top 10 list, you got to throw something on there.
Number 6, the Cruiserweight Title.
Yeah.
The WWE couldn't have produced a better design for the Cruiserweight title in the early 2000s. The title delivered the perfect balance of honoring the WCW version of the Cruiserweight title whilst representing the WWE branding and style of titles that were common during the respective time. When they revamped the Cruiserweight division in 2016, there was a push from fans to see the title design return, or at the very least modify it for a modern audience. Unfortunately, WWE didn't want to honor the design in any way, and their design choice wasn't what fans had in mind.
Yeah.
The new version of the title would have a hideous purple strap which was supposed to represent the branding of 205 Live, and the center and side pieces would be silver, and of course WWE plastered a big WWE logo in the center. It was underwhelming, and it could certainly be argued that the title looked like a toy that was made by Mattel. Number 5.
I agree, but then when they came out the one with the black strap, that wasn't too bad. But either one aren't as close as the original Cruiserweight title belts. But still, I don't know, man. I think once they came out with those designs for the tag titles, they kind of just got stuck to that for some reason.
The Women's Divas title. Between
yes,
2008
I
to
hate this belt,
2010,
man.
WWE would have 2 women's
I'm sorry, guys. This is probably going to be the most negative I'm going to be on any video at all.
Titles on the show, the Divas title and the Women's title. When the two were unified in 2010, fans hoped that the classic women's title would be used, as that version of the title had a classy appearance and the consensus on the Divas title design wasn't the best. They made the daring move to completely abandon the women's title design, and the Divas title would now be the primary women's title in the division. Whilst not a makeover as such, WWE believing that the butterfly design of the Divas title was a better look than the classic women.
Look, I get what they're going for here. I get that this was probably angled towards little girls and for them to buy those belts at Toys R Us or Walmart or Target. I get that. I get trying to go for the Lisa Frank's World Heavyweight Championship belt, if you know what Lisa Frank is. But for me personally, I don't like it. Maybe ladies like this, so that's for them, not me. But every time I see it, it's just the butterfly is just, it just seems too toyish. It looks like a toy. But from what I've heard, that's what they were going for, to sell it more in the stores, as opposed to, you know, because the guy championships are selling too many. So they were like, hey, let's make something for the little girls and have them buy this and wear it to the events. But to me, I don't know, man. I can't. I don't like this.
Women's title was without a doubt a creative mishap. In terms of direct makeovers that WWE have made to establish the women's title, they once allowed Lay Cool to carry half of the classic women's title, each which looked totally ridiculous, and it made the title look like an utter joke. Additionally, when the WWE revamped the SmackDown and Raw women's titles in the summer of 2023, Asuka's new design received criticism. Her new version of the title, simply named the women's title, would be similar to Roman Reigns' Undisputed title, but with a white strap. Most of the negative feedback came from the fact that the centerpiece said Women's Undisputed Champion, which seemed like an odd choice as Asuka hasn't unified the women's title.
Yeah.
Number 4, Undisputed Title. Sometimes in pro wrestling, the reception to a title design can change over time. In 2002, when WWE ditched having the big gold belt and the big eagle representing the Undisputed Championship, they introduced a new single title called the Undisputed Title. This was a small gold world title that at first looked rather underwhelming, and fans at that time were disappointed to see the WWE go from 2 universally beloved designs to a design that looked rather basic. Gradually over time, the consensus on the design shifted. When wrestlers such as The Rock, Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle had the belt over their shoulder, it looked incredible. It was a perfect belt for TV, and the title design is now often named as one of the more underrated title designs that WWE have ever come up with. Number 3, the Big Gold Belt. Now it goes without saying that the Big Gold Belt
my favorite
is
belt
one
of
the most
all
popular
time, man.
title designs in pro wrestling history. WWE used the title initially as the WCW World Title, then in 2002 it became their permanent World Title on Raw to counteract SmackDown, who had the WWE Championship.
I think it's gorgeous.
One of the reasons the title stands out is because the gold centerpiece is so noticeable and grand, and whenever a wrestler wears it over their shoulder or around their waist, they look incredible.
Comes to mind. Let me know in the comment section.
It was truly the definitive world title. However, over time, WWE began to shrink the world title design down, and this was met with heavy criticism. The design became smaller and smaller. And
yo, to shrink the title and then to shrink the big gold and then to put it on somebody like the Big Show is crazy. Like, you make that thing. It reminds me of this. I think it was a TikTok with Randy Orton when he's like wrestling with the toys and then he takes the title and put it on his shoulders. It looked exactly the same way as it does on the Big Show right now. Like, I don't know why they shrunk it. Because it being huge is what made it like amazing to me. It looked like $1 million. And for me, I don't really care for the color gold like that. But for something to be fully gold and for me to like it, you got to be doing something incredible. And I think that's what they did with this belt. But when they shrunk it, it just was like, man, like they stuck that mug in a microwave or something.
Smaller and smaller, and when wrestlers such as Mark Henry and Big Show won the prestigious gold, the title looked kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
To Intercontinental Title. In 2009, WWE decided it was finally time to introduce a new design for the Intercontinental Title. This wasn't a decision that fans were excited about, as the present design of the IC title was classic, popular, and more importantly looked amazing. The new design had a black strap with a gold center and side pieces. It was hard to get used to, and most of the negative feedback came from fans questioning what the point of the redesign was. Whilst fans have somewhat managed to get used to the new design, the design is certainly missing something, and that's the color blue. Fan art showing the belt with blue added to the center.
That looks cool. I like that.
Even the title on a white strap would make the title look 100% better. And
it's true. It's not that bad though.
Title. There have been a number of custom WWE titles over the years, and without a doubt the most infamous was John Cena's custom WWE title, first introduced in 2000.
Bro, when I tell you I do not like that title, even when it was going on, even when John Cena was wearing it, the spinning title, okay, I thought it was just a gimmick title, kind of like when Daniel Bryan had that hemp belt. But for me, I never liked that title. It was just, I don't know what it was, man. I just didn't like anything with spinners on it, even though like spinning rims on cars back in the day was kind of, you know, relevant and it looked cool on cars, but to have it on a belt, and some people had it on their necklace when I was in high school, when they came out with the spree rail shoes with the spinners inside the shoes, I just thought it was all like really goofy. Like that, I don't know why. And then for John Cena to come out, and then John Cena at that time is a whole different discussion. But anyway, this kind of added to my issue with John Cena at that time. And it wasn't that he's not supposed to have that gimmick. It just feels like whenever, and I told you guys this in another video, whenever they take rapper gimmicks, so to speak, they make those wrestlers kind of one-dimensional. Now, I know John Cena, as far as his mic skills and in the ring and stuff like that, he elevated it. But at the same time, when people like him, like the Acclaim, like what's the name? Hit Row. I don't want to put Hit Row on the same level as far as wrestlers as him. But it's just that gimmick. It's just, I don't know. It's just never entertaining to me. And when they're like, "Oh, I'm a rapper, and I gotta rap when I get on the mic, and I gotta show out that I'm a rapper. I gotta wear a chain. I gotta wear a spinning belt. I gotta wear rapper shoes." And it almost feels like this guy I know who just like smokes all the time, right? And that's fine. If you smoke, then that's cool. But it's like, okay, I get that you're a smoker, but then when you come out and you're wearing like weed socks and weed sandals with weed logos and Blunts logos on your shorts, and you wearing Bob Marley on your shirt, Bob Marley on your shirt, and then weed logos planted all over your hat and stuff like that. It's like, I don't care that he do his thing, but sometimes like I get on him like, bro, like why you gotta, like, we get that you smoke, bro. Why you gotta be over the top with it? Like, and that's what I feel like about like some of these rappers / wrestlers. Now there's some exceptions like R-Truth or the Usos when they were heavily like rappers and stuff like that. That was only a part of their personality, but when it's just what they are and that's it, I don't know, man. I like John Cena, just not that version of it. I know that's a hot take and an unpopular opinion, but it's an opinion, okay?
2005. The design was scolded by fans as outside of Cena, the title looked unusual on names such as Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista. The reason the design overstayed its welcome was ultimately money. The design was incredibly popular with the young demographic, and they weren't going to pass up selling replica versions of the spinner belt. WWE did eventually make a slight modification to the design, as it would fix the WWE logo in the center so it would stop spinning. This was a vast improvement, but even still, it would have made more logical sense for WWE to introduce a new version of the title and keep the spinner title exclusively for Cena. But there you have it, folks.
Yeah, I mean,
the biggest WWE.
I mean, that was his era. That was his time. I mean, like, why not just leave it to him and then just, I guess, you know, money talks. That's what it is at the end of the day. I'm not an owner or CEO or CFO of WWE. I'm not the one that helped with their finances. Obviously, it helped them do something. So, you know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, which one did you think was the worst downgrade out of this list? I don't think the NXT title or the Intercontinental title was that bad. I mean, between the two, the Intercontinental would be the worst of the two, but they weren't that bad. Thank you guys so much for watching. Salute, peace, have a good day.